7 Spanish angels took another angel home.
Hey, I'm Willie Nelson, and you're watching HempRock TV.
We don't run, and we don't compromise, we don't quit, we never do.
Attention, Michigan veterans. I am MSgt Vance, Senior Advisor for Veterans for Medical Cannabis Access. We are working with the state legislature to create a program to help veterans pay for their medical cannabis needs. We need your help. Contact me at 517-224-9037. Don't wait. Come help us.
Hi, I'm Willie Nelson, and the Willie Nelson Tea Party and I endorse Veterans for Medical Cannabis Access.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am MSgt Vance, the voice of Freedom's Voice. Had a little setback with the cancer. We'll tell you about that at the end. Today we're going to talk about something we talked about in the very first episode I did, the Modern Confederacy. It seems, since Reagan's declaration that the last person you want to call if you need help is the federal government, since that time, it appears or it seems that the Republican Party is making war on the federal government. They got to bone up their butt about the federal government. I don't know. I don't know why, but that's what seems to be the deal. And how this connects to the Confederacy, let me say. In the original writings in the papers that established the Confederacy, they said plainly and clearly the reason they were establishing this separate country was so they could maintain slavery. The excuse of states' rights, that the states have more rights than the federal government itself, came along a bit later to enhance the excuse for enslaving people for so many years and treating them so terribly. Today's party is grabbing onto this states' rights idea to continue their assault on the federal government. If they can get rid of the federal government, then they can get rid of regulations that they don't like, regulations that cost them money, like safety regulations and things like that. We just had that disastrous train derailment in Palestine, East Palestine, Ohio. Part of that is because they fight against regulations, safety regulations. Railroad workers don't even get a damn day off for sick leave. Not one day would the company give them. Now, we've been favoring the wealthy and corporations since Reagan. And it's rich people and corporations help the Republicans get elected. The Republicans reward them by giving them huge tax cuts. And as I said in the episode titled Buying Power, those tax cuts have to be made up for somewhere. And what happens is your local taxes go up to cover the money that you're not getting from the federal government. The federal government gives your city and your state a lot of money every year to help pay for citizen services. And if you give tax cuts to the wealthy and these big corporations don't pay taxes, then it's got to be made up. And your local taxes go up to make up for the money you're not getting from the federal government because of those tax cuts. You know, give the rich people a break. They don't need a break. If we were to establish a universal basic income of $1,000 a month for everybody just for being a citizen, it would not take more than, it would be less than a 5% increase in wealthy people's taxes. Less than a 5% increase. Don't worry about the wealthy. They'll still be wealthy. Now, we don't want to hurt people, but we've got such a huge wealth gap that we're going to be cruising for a bruising if we don't do something about it. So that's the big fight. And in that fight, the federal government became the enemy of the Republican Party. And it has devolved so far, they managed to get control of the Supreme Court. Roe v. Wade was tossed out. So now each individual state is making laws about who can have an abortion and who can't, and who can perform one and who can't, and all that stuff that should be between a woman and her doctor and none of a politician's business at all. And states' rights is the excuse they're using. Another thing they're using that excuse for, is to pass laws, local laws that make it harder for you to vote. If less people vote, Republicans are more likely to get elected. Because they're not offering any policies. There are no policies or programs that they're offering that would make your life better. Only retribution, payback. For what? For bringing criminals to justice? These guys are the Modern Confederacy. They think the state should rule. The state should decide whether you have a child or not. The state should decide. These people are supposed to be about freedom, and they're so anti-freedom, it's getting ridiculous. They actually physically attacked and tried to overthrow the government because things aren't going their way. It's not about wokeness. It's about people understanding how entwined their lives are. And that you can't demonize the other side. You can't, it's not religion. Religion, you have to go all the way or you'll go to hell. This is not religion. This is politics. This is compromise. This is working together to make the lives of the people you represent better. Not to make the lives of the people you represent worse, make it harder for them to vote and harder for them to live their lives, just so you can stay in power. It's sad and it's pitiful, but that's where we're at. One political party has decided that the government is their enemy, and look out. If these people get full control of the government, really, our entire democracy is in danger. Some of the things they're spouting, that Marjorie Taylor Greene said she wanted, well, we'll just have a divorce. All you red state people will go move and live here, and all you blue state people will go move. That's insane. And it denies the very fabric of what our democracy is about. They use states' rights to change voting laws, make it harder for you to vote. In some states, they want to pass a law that says if they don't like who won the election, they can change who won, make it somebody else. The Modern Confederacy. These guys are still around and they're still at it. And you got to be on your toes and pay attention. If they ain't got no policies and programs, then they're only about staying in power, not about you. Watch out, because they're out there and they'll try and trick you. The only boat this next time coming around, the only boat has to be a boat for those who respect our democracy, and not a boat for those who don't and want to put it in danger. Keep that in mind. Modern Confederacy is still lurking out there, and we have to be careful we don't lose our democracy to this craziness. So there you go, something to think about. Now, the cancer. The metastatic, is that how you pronounce that? I always pronounce that wrong. The little pieces of cancer that float around all in your body, the little floaters all over. The last scan that they did said they were gathering around my liver, one end of my liver. Not good. So they got me on heavy super super duty chemo, which is why I haven't been able to get a show out, for a while. But here we go. We got one. Keep your eyes open for the modern Confederacy so it don't sneak up on you. These people don't care about you, and they don't care about our democracy. They only care about power. And once they get it, look out. That's it. We'll see you next time. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Welcome spring. I hope everybody has a great time. And we'll see you next time.
Hi, I'm Willie Nelson, and the Willie Nelson Teapot Party and I endorse Veterans for Medical Cannabis Access.
Just roll me up and smoke me when I die.
Hey, I'm Willie Nelson, and you're watching HempRock TV.